Outstanding Young Americans is something incredibly unbelievable for me. It has been overwhelming having congratulatory messages from people all over the world that I've encountered, and I want to give a special thanks to Laura Chesney-Gadd for doing such a fantastic job with all the organization. If we could all give her a round of applause. I'd like to start by saying that it's not lost on me that I'm probably one of the very few Black American women to achieve this award and to be among greats, many of the people that I admire, like Bill Clinton, Arthur Ashe, Elvis Presley. So what I would like to start by doing, since I am an educator, is reading an abridged version of one of my very favorite poems from the late and great Dr. Maya Angelou. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of a slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Very recently, and I was sharing with my colleague, Dr. Phil Meyer, that I was in Ghana in January for a dear friend's wedding, and one of the most overwhelming experiences I had was visiting Cape Coast, which, as many of you probably know, was the point of departure for many slaves heading on to the United States. And so for me, being there was incredible, because most people in my family haven't even left the state of Florida. For them, many of them, it's their first time even leaving and joining me here. And being there and walking through that gate and thinking about people who came before me, it was even more powerful to go through what they now have as the point of return, a gate where you can return home, where you can join again with your family. And I think for me, being here with all of you, I feel enjoined with my U.S. family, and that means so much to me as someone living abroad. And I think one of the themes of my life and what has continued to inspire me is this idea of returning and rising, because certainly for me, as you heard and have read, circumstances growing up were very, very difficult. And I'm very proud to say that a lot of those sad stories turned into joys and have enabled many of the people in my life that have contributed to who I am today to take inspiration from me and to take inspiration from the things that I do. I'm going to give you two more quotes as an educator, both coming from also the late Nelson Mandela. The first one is, education is the most powerful tool which you can use to change the world. And the second is, not even the most repressive regime can stop human beings from finding ways of communicating and obtaining access to information. Often when I tell people what I do, which is using mobile phones to help people access education, they look at me with a blank stare and really don't understand why anyone would want to use their phone for educational purposes. And fortunately, being in the United States, although certainly we are not perfect here with our education system, we do have a lot of media with which we can use to pursue an education. But for millions of women and girls in particular around the world, education still remains far out of their reach. And some of the work that I do and what I'm recognized for, and what I was so graciously nominated by Miss Ashley Morrison of your JCI Bellevue branch to receive this award today was for the work in taking something that seems impossible and making it possible. Becoming a U.S. Fulbright Scholar in 2013 for me was momentous, not least because it was the last very good piece of news I was able to share with my father before he passed away. But it was also, sadly, the day of the Boston bombing. So as I posted about, hey, I got the Fulbright, people were like, oh my gosh, there was a bomb in Boston. And I feel like, you know, whenever in my life, with every triumph, there's also tragedy. And I think, again, returning to that theme of returning and rising, for me, it's a constant reflection, a constant reflective process that pushes me and propels me to do what I do. And I'd like to dedicate this very beautiful award to all of the children, adults, teenagers that I've worked with through the years who I've learned so much from, including languages and slang. And I really appreciate it, and I think I wish I could have all of them here with me to receive this award, because I really feel I don't deserve it for what I've done, because they have inspired me and given to me so much more than I think I have ever done for them. So I definitely want to dedicate this to all these people that I've had the extreme honor of being able to teach. And last and not least, I'd like to give specific thanks to my father, whom I mentioned passed away in 2013. Very recently, my grandmother as well, within weeks of learning about this award. A great big thanks to my husband, Evan, who is one of the strongest men I know, for letting me go all over the world, live by myself, and to pursue my passions without trying to bring me down or to tell me, hey, you should come wherever I go. I really am so fortunate to have someone who appreciates and respects having a woman like me by his side. I'd like to thank my family from Florida, which includes Mrs. Shelley Hollingsworth and Mrs. Nancy Wackaway, my brother, my sister, my mother, my legion of nieces and nephews who are here, sometimes interrupting your speeches. I'd like to give a big thanks to my Salem family, and in particular, because Salem College is the oldest women's college in the United States, and that's really where, after having this very turbulent childhood and high school experience, I learned to love myself. And I'd like to thank the 3 people in the audience that are from my college who journeyed here to be with me. And last but not least, I really must thank Miss Ashley Morrison again for nominating me, believing in me, and bringing me here today with you all. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Nathan Osmond from the class of 213 assisted with that presentation.